The future of the world is being decided right now, quietly. No battlefields, only code, data, and machines. This is the technology war between the United States and China. The next global war won't be fought with soldiers. It will be fought with algorithms, satellites, and microchips. And the terrifying reality is this: the outcome of this war will determine everything. Who controls the economy? Who controls communication? Who controls you? This isn't a distant threat. It's happening right now. Every single day. While you scroll through your phone, while you sleep, while you live your ordinary life, the superpowers are locked in a battle that will reshape civilization itself. And most people have no idea it's even happening. Artificial intelligence is no longer a tool. It's a weapon. Both nations are racing to control AI capable of surveillance, decision-making, and autonomous warfare. Whoever masters AI first gains an invisible advantage over the rest of the world. Think about what that means. An intelligence that never sleeps, never forgets, never questions orders. An intelligence that can analyze billions of data points in seconds. That can predict human behavior, manipulate markets, identify threats before they emerge. The United States has invested hundreds of billions into AI research. Silicon Valley giants like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI are building systems more powerful than anything humanity has ever created. Systems that can write, reason, and soon decide. China, meanwhile, has taken a different approach. Total integration, AI woven into every aspect of society. Facial recognition that tracks 1.4 billion people. Social credit systems that reward compliance and punish dissent. AI that doesn't just observe, it controls. In Chinese cities, cameras powered by artificial intelligence monitor every street corner. They recognize faces, track movements, predict crimes before they happen. This isn't dystopian fiction. This is operational reality. And it's being exported. Over 80 countries now use Chinese surveillance technology. From Africa to Latin America, authoritarian regimes are adopting the same systems, building their own digital surveillance states. The question isn't whether AI will change the world. The question is, who gets to decide how it's used? Because AI doesn't have morality. It has programming, and whoever controls the programming controls the future. But here's what makes this truly dangerous. These AI systems are learning, evolving, becoming more autonomous. Military AI is being trained to make split-second decisions in combat. Decisions that used to require human judgment. Launch codes, target selection, rules of engagement, all potentially delegated to machines. Both the US and China are developing autonomous weapons systems. Drones that select and engage targets without human input. Swarms of robots that coordinate attacks faster than any human commander could react. And once these systems are deployed, there's no going back. Because in war, the side that hesitates loses. The pressure to automate, to remove human delay from the decision-making process, becomes irresistible. We're approaching a threshold, a point where AI doesn't just assist in warfare. It conducts it. And the nation that crosses that line first may gain an advantage so overwhelming that the other can never catch up. This is the AI arms race. Silent, rapid, irreversible, and it's accelerating every single day. Every modern weapon, system, and AI depends on one thing: microchips. Those tiny pieces of silicon, smaller than your fingernail, are the foundation of everything. Your phone, your car, your bank, military satellites, nuclear systems, all of it runs on semiconductors. And right now, the US and China are locked in the fiercest battle over these chips the world has ever seen. The US controls key technology. The most advanced chip designs come from American companies. But here's the problem. Most of those chips are manufactured in Taiwan, a small island 100 miles from mainland China, an island that China considers part of its territory, and an island that produces over 60% of the world as semiconductors, and over 90% of the most advanced ones. If China were to take control of Taiwan, it wouldn't just be a territorial victory. It would be technological domination, instant control over the global supply of the most critical technology on Earth. The United States knows this. That's why, in 2022, the US implemented the most aggressive tech restrictions in modern history, banning the export of advanced chips to China, banning the tools needed to make them, cutting off China's access to the technology that powers AI, quantum computing, and next-generation weapons. This wasn't a trade dispute. This was an act of technological warfare. China's response: invest everything into independence. Over $150 billion poured into domestic semiconductor production. Thousands of engineers recruited, entire cities built around chip fabrication plants. The message was clear. We will not be dependent. We will not be controlled. But building advanced semiconductors isn't easy. It requires machines that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Machines that only a few companies in the world can build. Companies that are now banned from selling to China. So China has turned to espionage, stealing designs, recruiting engineers, reverse engineering embargoed technology. Because in this war, falling behind isn't an option. It's extinction. And it's not just about military power. It's about everything. Whoever controls semiconductor production controls the infrastructure of modern life. The servers that run the internet, the systems that manage power grids, the networks that connect hospitals, banks, governments. All of it depends on chips. Now, let's go higher, above the Earth. Because while the battle for chips rages on the ground, another war is unfolding in space. Above our heads, another war is unfolding. Satellites control communication, navigation, and intelligence. Space is no longer peaceful. It's strategic. Both superpowers know it. The United States has over 3,000 satellites in orbit. China is racing to catch up, launching satellites at a record pace. But these aren't just communication devices. They're weapons, platforms, surveillance systems, tools of control. Modern warfare is impossible without satellites. GPS guides, missiles, communication satellites coordinate troops. Spy satellites monitor enemy movements. Destroy a nation's satellites, and you blind them. Paralysis. 10. Both the US and China have already demonstrated anti-satellite weapons. Missiles that can destroy objects in orbit. Lasers that can disable sensors. Cyber attacks that can hijack control systems. Space is becoming military, and the rules of engagement don't exist yet. There are no treaties governing warfare in orbit. No laws about what's acceptable, just capability and intent. China has launched its own GPS alternative, Beidou, its own space station, its own Luna missions. The message is clear. Space will not be an American domain. It will be contested, competitive, potentially hostile. And here's the terrifying part. A war in space would be catastrophic for everyone. Destroying satellites creates debris, fragments traveling at thousands of miles per hour. Debris that destroys other satellites, creating more debris. A chain reaction until entire orbits become unusable. No GPS, no weather monitoring, no global communication. Modern civilization would collapse back decades and hours. And yet, both sides continue to weaponize the high frontier. Because in the logic of superpower competition, vulnerability is unacceptable, even if the cost is mutual destruction. No missiles, no tanks, just data. Cyber attacks, digital espionage, and information control define the new battlefield. One where borders no longer exist. This is the war. You can't see the war happening inside the networks you use every single day. Every government system, every corporate database, every personal device. All of it is a potential target. The United States and China are conducting cyber operations against each other constantly. Probing defenses, stealing secrets, planting backdoors. In 2021, a massive cyber attack targeted Microsoft Exchange servers worldwide. The culprit, hackers, linked to the Chinese government. Thousands of organizations compromised. Data stolen. Systems infiltrated. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was business as usual. The US does the same. The NSA, Cyber Command, intelligence agencies with budgets in the tens of billions, all dedicated to digital warfare, hacking foreign networks, intercepting communications, mapping infrastructure for future attacks. Because in a real conflict, the first strike won't be kinetic, it will be digital. Power grids shut down, financial systems frozen, communication networks severed, all with the push of a button. Both nations are preparing for this scenario, mapping each other's critical infrastructure, identifying vulnerabilities, planting digital implants, malware that sits dormant, waiting to be activated. Think of it like this. Right now, deep inside critical systems on both sides, there are weapons waiting. Lines of code that could cripple hospitals, crash stock markets, or disable military command centers. Just waiting for the order and the terrifying truth. We might not know a cyber war has started until it's already devastated us. No declaration, no warning. Just sudden, catastrophic failure of the systems we depend on. But it's not just about infrastructure. It's about information itself. Whoever controls information controls reality. China has built the most sophisticated censorship system in human history. The Great Firewall. Controlling what 1.4 billion people can see, read, and believe. Entire topics erased from the internet. History rewritten. Dissent silenced. The US, meanwhile, accuses China of disinformation campaigns, fake social media accounts, bots spreading propaganda, algorithms amplifying division. But America's hands aren't clean either. Mass surveillance programs, data collection without consent, manipulation of information flows. Both sides are fighting for control of the narrative, because in the 21st century, truth is a weapon, and the nation that controls what people believe controls everything. This extends to technology platforms themselves, TikTok and Huawei. The US has banned or restricted all of them, citing national security. Not because they're dangerous in themselves, but because they're controlled by China. And data is power. Who you are, what you think, who you talk to, what you fear, what you desire. All of it harvested, analyzed, weaponized. China bans American platforms for the same reason. Facebook, Google, Twitter, not because of content, because of control. The world is splitting into two digital universes, one governed by American technology, one by Chinese. And every nation must choose which ecosystem to join, which standards to adopt, which superpower to trust. Because neutrality is no longer an option. This war won't end with a treaty. It will end with dominance. And by the time the world realizes who won, it may already be too late. The technology war is not coming. It's here, right now. Invisible, but everywhere. In the chips powering your devices, in the satellites above your head, in the data flowing through your screen. Two superpowers fighting for total control. And the prize is in territory. It's the future itself. The nation that wins this war will write the rules for the next century. Will decide what technology is allowed, what innovation is permitted, what freedom means. And the rest of us, we're just living in the crossfire, hoping that when the dust settles, there's still a world worth living in. The invisible war is real, and it's deciding your future right now. If you want to understand the wars you never see, the battles fought in silence, and the future being decided without your consent, subscribe, because knowledge is the only weapon we have left.